Everybody loves the TeSlaa talk and a very special guest.
You are Locked On Lions, your daily Detroit Lions podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
All right, everybody, here we are. Matt Derry with you. It is Locked On Lions, Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day on a Wednesday, May 7th and a Thursday, May 8th. Thanks for being here. Thanks for joining us and listening wherever you get your podcasts. And, of course, to those of you that subscribe and watch on our Locked On Lions YouTube channel, what is happening, everyone? Hope you are well and feeling good about your Detroit Lions. Like 4 months from football, at least real football. We're going to have training camp. We're going to have OTAs. We're going to have all of that. But a lot to get to on this Wednesday. Thanks for making us your first listen, like I said. And thank you to our everydayers that are out there that watch and listen to the podcast daily. Locked On Lions today is brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new customers can get $200 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. If you listened to the show yesterday during the FanDuel read, I told you the Indiana Pacers. I told you. And I know the Cavs had guys out. And I'm not some prognosticator here. I'm not Mel Kiper. I'm not, Stu Feiner. Promises made, promises delivered. I'm not doing any of that. Just telling you, Indiana is going to win that series. Coming up on the show today, everybody's hinging the Lions draft and how they'll do this year, next year, in terms of what people think of the Lions draft, all based on one player. We will get into that coming up momentarily. Also, ESPN's NFL Power Rankings are out again today. Lions dropped a spot after the draft. I'll tell you who leapfrogged them. We also have a call of the day today. One of our everydayers checking in. You want to be our call of the day? Just go to www.speakpipe.com/Derry, my last name, Derry, podcast page. All right, so we talked about it. I think it was Monday or Friday. Austin Mock from theathletic.com. It was Monday. He said the Lions got an F grade. There are some people that have said, like Trevor Sikkema from Pro Football Focus, who was on Monday with us, gave the Lions a solid B+. I'm not into grades. I'm not telling you Mel Kiper gave him a C+. I'm not going through 17 grades. Pete Briscoe, Albert Breer. There's so many experts. But the one thing I think we need to talk about, especially today, with what everybody is saying about the draft and how we are going to analyze the 2025 Brad Holmes rookie class, kind of comes down to one player. Like if Tyleik Williams, the team's first round pick at number 28, is really, really good, and let's say the Ohio State defensive tackle comes in and plays very well and plays a lot of snaps and fills in for Lee McNeil until he's ready, to the point where we go, man, that's a really solid pick. That won't be good enough for people. If Tate Ratledge comes in and wins the left guard spot, and he's your left guard, and let's say Mahogany's your right guard, or Glasgow's your right guard, or whatever, it won't matter. All anybody wants to talk about is third round pick, the wide receiver from here out of the great state of Michigan and Arkansas, Isaac TeSlaa. Capital T, little e, capital S, LAWW. That's all anybody wants to talk about. Exhibit A. And boy, I'm giving ESPN a lot of love today. ESPN did their key intel on all 32 teams' draft and what the buzz is around the league. And all anybody wants to talk about, Exhibit A at ESPN.com, is Isaac TeSlaa. Folks, he might not play a ton this year. Doesn't matter to anybody. Oh, they got Amon-Ra St. Brown, top 10 receiver in the game. They got Jameson Williams, arguably top 15 receiver in the game. They got Tim Patrick, damn good player. They got Khalif Raymond, no slouch. But no. Isaac TeSlaa, who's best known for wearing a jersey to his top 30 visit in Allen Park, who played high school football and won a state championship at Ford Field. That's all anybody wants to talk about. So in the draft key intel article today at ESPN.com, Detroit Lions, quote, One of the most compelling stories of day 2 was Detroit trading up 32 spots to the early third round to take a receiver with 28 catches last season at Arkansas. But Isaac TeSlaa is a prime example of why the pre-draft process matters. TeSlaa was off the draft radar and had to scramble to get an invite to the Hula Bowl, which led to an invite to the Senior Bowl. He performed well at both, then caught scouts' attention at the combine when he ran a 4.43 40-yard dash at 6'4", 214 pounds. His personality shined in the process, becoming Detroit Lions' Brad Holmes' favorite player in the draft. Some attributed his low production in college to lack of communication and inexperience at quarterback. He had a great pre-draft process with the Saints, who held the pick number 71, and the Bills at 72. So it wasn't lost on TeSlaa that Detroit traded directly in front of those two teams, plus Denver at number 74, which went to receiver Pat Bryant. All anybody's talking about is this kid. I don't get it. If Tylee, look, the kid's good. Don't get me wrong. He might end up being decent. He might end up being a spark plug. He might end up being very good. But people are going to judge this draft and say in December, oh, see, Isaac TeSlaa only plays on special teams. The draft sucked. No, it's not how it works. How are we judging the 2024 draft so far? Not great, right? But what if in year 2, an Ennis Rakestraw makes a huge difference? What if in year 2, a Giovanni Manu becomes a mauler, as say maybe there was an injury, knock on wood, on the offensive line? Maybe Giovanni Manu wins a guard spot and they go, whoa, we got something here. But he didn't play all of last year. Neither did Ennis Rakestraw because he was hurt. What if Rakestraw becomes a really good corner? What if Terrion Arnold becomes a great corner? Are we going to sit here like we are today going, Brad's 2024 drafts, that was his worst. That was his worst. Okay. Kind of see my point here? I think of Tyleik Williams and Ratledge and Frazier, heck, Jackson as the safety in the 7th round. If these guys end up being decent, what if Hassanin turns out to get a lot of reps rushing the passer? But all anybody wants to judge the 2025 draft on May 7th, on July 7th, on September 7th, on November 7th, and I bet on February 7th will be this wide receiver, not little, this wide receiver, from a little town in Michigan that no one had heard of and that Brad Holmes traded up 30 some odd spots to get. And I'm just here to tell you, there's a log jam at receiver. Like, yeah, they wanted to get younger at receiver, which is code for probably not gonna be able to pay Jamison Williams, and we need to have a backup plan. And people get injured. That happens. But Isaac TeSlaa right here, right now, is not as good as Khalif Raymond. He's not as good as Tim Patrick. He's certainly not as good as J-Mo or St. Brown. So I just want everybody to pump the brakes on grading drafts. And when talking about the draft, his name just keeps coming up. But I got news for you. Tyleik Williams is going to make an impact. Tate Ratledge can be a starter. And not enough people are talking about that. That is my point. Power rankings. We're going to get to that coming up next. We also have a call of the day and a very, very special guest at the end of the program. I'm not even teasing it on social media. If you're watching or listening, you'll know who it is. We'll do that coming up next, right here on Locked On Lions. And our program today brought to you by Skylight. Say goodbye to sticky notes, scribbled plans on the fridge, and overlapping calendar invites. The Skylight Calendar is here to bring clarity to the chaos and help families stay organized without the stress. This sleek digital display syncs with your existing calendars, Google, Apple, Outlook, and more, making it simple to track appointments, practices, dinners, and reminders all in one easy-to-see place. Seriously, what would it mean to eliminate the I don't know excuse from your family's routine? Or could assigning everyone their own color on their calendar finally solve the who does what confusion that goes on in your house? How often the plans get missed because they're buried in somebody else's digital calendar or not written down at all? This is where our friends at Skylight come in. Right now, Skylight is offering our Locked On Lions listeners $30 off their 15-inch calendars by going to skylightcal.com/NFL. Go to skylightcal.com/NFL for $30 off your 15-inch calendar. That is skylightcal.com/NFL. Happy belated birthday yesterday to my good buddy, Corey Dworkin. Corey is a huge sports fan, loves her Lions, loves Michigan State. Corey is one of the best people I know. Her and her husband, Sam, are dear friends of mine. Got to give a belated birthday shout out to the great CD, Corey Dworkin. All right, so power rankings are out. I always love reading these, and I know Locked On, we're going to do some power rankings too. I had to fill out a form today, and those will come out tomorrow, I believe, from all the hosts at the illustrious Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. But ESPN's post-draft power rankings are out. All the NFL Nation's reporters voted. Number one on the list, Kansas City Chiefs. As it says, their most improved position, wide receiver. Now, after free agency, the power rankings were out, and KC was number one. They stay at number one even after the draft. Number two, Philadelphia. They've improved at linebacker, picking up Jahad Campbell and adding Smail Modin Jr. in the 5th round, Kobe Dean coming back from injury, all that. Philadelphia stays at number 2. Following free agency, your Detroit Lions were number 3 in the power rankings. They have dropped to number 4. That is because the Buffalo Bills, according to ESPN, have jumped the Lions from 3 to 4 based on the 3 defensive players that they drafted, TJ Sanders, Landon Jackson, and Deontay Walker. Lions are number 4. As it says, their most improved position was offensive line. Eric Woodyard, who of course covers the Lions for ESPN, wrote, for the past 3 seasons, offensive line has been one of the strongest units on the roster. However, after losing Kevin Zeitler, Lions GM Brad Holmes used draft picks to keep that unit rolling, picking up versatile O-linemen in Tate Ratledge and Miles Frazier, who will be trained at different positions so they can beef up the O-line. We've seen that Ratledge and Frazier could play some center and guard and even some tackle throughout the preseason. So there you go. Rounding out the top 5, you have Baltimore, and then top 10, Washington at 6, Rams at 7, Packers at 8, Vikings at 9. I don't see that, but okay. And the Bengals at 10. The Chicago Bears, who everybody's in love with, as we know, including the Colin Cowherd audio we played you yesterday on this show. The Chicago Bears are 21 in the power rankings, up a spot from 22 following free agency. So Chicago still, at least according to the NFL Nation reporters at ESPN, still in the 20s. How about the George Pickens trade today, by the way? Going to the Cowboys from Pittsburgh for draft picks. That kid is immensely talented. George Pickens is so talented, but I think Coach T there in the 4-1-2 has about had enough of his off-field antics and attitude. And does this mean they're going to go get Aaron Rodgers? Because they don't want to have Aaron Rodgers, George Pickens, and DK Metcalf on the same team? I don't know. But I thought that was certainly interesting to see. But yes, Lions, number 4 in the power rankings. I have no issue with it. Buffalo Bills whooped the Lions last year. Whooped them. I have no beef with Detroit being number 4 on that list. Not at all. All right, time for our call of the day. You want to be our call of the day and get on the show, you can do so by going to speakpipe.com/dairy podcast page. This week, today's call of the day. We've done back-to-back here. Today's call of the day. Local legend in the sales game, CD, checking in with our call of the day. One of our everydayers. Let's take a listen.
Hey, Matt, CD and Troy. Really enjoyed Lewis Meeks' questions about the draft. And I have another theory I want to run by you. Do you think other GMs are just looking at the Lions as like the poker player that wins every big pot, that buys the pot. Like, this guy's always trading up and screwing me out of a pick that I could have had, and I'm looking bad. And so if he really wants a player, I'm going to make him pay for it. I'm going to make him buy the pot. I'm wondering if the Lions and Brad's success has made them now the marked man that you don't want to go up against the table, or you want to make them buy the pot. Just curious, what do you think? Do you think that their success is now making the other 31 teams gun shy about accepting their trade offers? Because what does he know that we don't? I'll hang up and listen.
Thank you, CD and Troy. Great question. Look, the Lions now have established themselves as one of the teams that other organizations are emulating. And Chris is right, calling in on this. Like, Arizona wants to be like the Lions. The Browns have talked about building from the draft and building up their offensive and defensive lines. The Bears kind of have the Lions model now, and you listen to Ben Johnson talk, or Benedict Johnson, as he's known in some M&A circles. They're building it like the Lions built it, right? In terms of how they want to win and how they want to go about their business. And the Lions are a little bit at times, and Mikey V points this out on the afternoon show on the Ticket a lot. Lions have a little attitude. They're wearing the villain sweatshirts. Brad Holmes is kind of like, yeah, watch this. I might not have a lot of picks today. Boom, I'm going to move up and go. I absolutely think, and it's kind of like the movie Rounders with Teddy KGB, hanging around. I could see where teams are like, if in fact we're getting leapfrogged by Brad Holmes, he's going to have to give us 2 third-round picks for our and swap the pick, which is what the Lions did to move up 30 some odd spots to get TeSlaa. Lions wanted to move up. Holmes said it himself, wanted to move up to get an edge rusher in the first round. And I'm sure made phone calls to Cincinnati and other teams about Shamar Stewart and others. And these teams went, Or they said, yeah, we'll do it, but it's going to be way too rich, likely for your blood. Lions have become the draft aces. So I think what CD is saying on Call the Day today is spot on. Yes, absolutely. I think there's something to the Lions having success and teams going, enough with Detroit hitting on all these picks. We're not going to allow it. Look at Green Bay a couple of years ago. They traded with the Lions, and so did Minnesota. The Lions, I believe, traded with Minnesota to get J-Mo and traded with Green Bay to move up to get Brian Branch. How'd that work out for those two teams? They've been staring at the Lions behinds the last 2 years as Detroit is up at the top. Definitely something to that. All right, a very special guest coming up next here on a Wednesday edition of Locked On Lions. Little FanDuel action today. NBA playoffs going on full swing. Every night delivers highlight-worthy performances, major momentum shifts, and can't-miss moments, whether it's a game-winning shot, like we saw last night from what the Helly Burton, or a breakout player. There's never been a better time to get in on the action than our friends at FanDuel. FanDuel makes it easy to stay in the game before tip-off and live with player props, performance trends, and same-game parlays. Fans have more ways to win than ever. You can win smart, win big with FanDuel, right? If you got a read on who's heating up, like tonight, let's say you think Jason Tatum's going off in game 2 as the C's take on the Knicks, all right? Why not back it up with the same game parlay? How could a $200 bonus in bets add to the excitement if your first $5 bet wins? It is simple. You do it at FanDuel. New to FanDuel. Simple. It's the perfect time to sign up. Head to FanDuel.com and place your first $5 bet. If it wins, you'll get $200 in bonus bets. Make every moment more with FanDuel, official sports betting partner of the National Basketball Association. All right, I'm not even promoting that this special guest is who it really is. Ladies and gentlemen, let's check in with Peter Bukowski from Locked On Packers. Pete, what's happening? How are you?
I'm having fun, enjoying my off season. I wore Honolulu blue for you today, so I'm ready. I'm ready. Whatever you got.
So yesterday on the show, Colin Cowherd does a segment, post-draft predictions.
Oh, no.
And in the division, here we go. And he's got the Bears. And you and I, if there's one thing you and I do agree on, it's the Bears. The Bears ahead of the Packers and Green Bay not even making the playoffs. I said, let's get Pete on and get his thoughts on this. That's correct.
That's absurd. They won 11 games last year and are better this year than they were last year. Like what is it about the Bears that they did this offseason that would make you believe, the Bears won 5 games last year? What are we talking about?
That's right.
This is stupid. It is
off-season champs
every year. What do we do? Okay, look, if anyone is going to be into the power of Ben Johnson, right? It's your audience, right? Sure. They know how good Ben Johnson is. Now, they might not like some of the things that have been said at times, some of the messages that's been coming out of Hallis Hall since Ben Johnson has been there. But I don't see anything other than if you think Ben Johnson is just a miracle worker, that would lead you to believe that the Bears would go from a 5-win team to a 12-win team, which is basically what they'd have to be. I think the Packers are a solid, no doubt, 10 or 11 win team if they are healthy. That means the Bears would have to win more games than them. And that means teams like the Seahawks, the Saints, who knows who else would have to win 12. That's not happening. This is absurd.
Pete, I am very entertained by the Ben Johnson, Matt LaFleur. They're just over in the sandbox fighting, and the Lions are like, "You two just keep doing your thing. We'll just stay up here." The Lions love that stuff. It's great.
It's the great meme of the two people fighting, and then the other person laying down taking the video. It's like that meme. It's like Matt LaFleur and Ben Johnson, and then it's Lions fans videotaping it.
Oh yeah, they love it.
Did you catch the comment that Matt LaFleur made on Bussin' with the Boys? He was asked about this.
I watch it all. I love it. And
was just him being like, I don't even know Ben Johnson.
Yeah.
Which was the thing that you and I, we flagged this at the time. It's one thing if you make a comment about, if you're Matt LaFleur and you're like, I really enjoy beating Robert Saleh, or Robert Saleh says that about Matt LaFleur, they're boys, or Kyle Shanahan or Sean McVay. I would love for Matt LaFleur to be like, hey, Sean McVay used to be my boss and I've never lost to him as a head coach.
Right.
That would be funny. It's not funny to take shots at, it is a personal attack then when you're taking shots at someone you don't know. And why? It's some of the stuff just comes off as so cringe to me. I think I sent you the clip of talking to Colston Loveland, and the whole Ben Johnson conversation sounded so contrived. It sounded like he was trying hard.
Hey brother, we're cooking with gas.
Well, the first thing he said was tell me something. What? Who are you? It was very Steve Buscemi, hello fellow kids kind of stuff. What are we? What are
when
you
he
doing?
passed the phone to Kevin Warren, and Kevin Warren's like, "Go Blue," and Loveland's like, "Who's this? Go Bears!" Kevin Warren.
God, Kevin's got to be so mad that happened.
Oh my God! Come on, give me a break. So he's got Green Bay. And look, it's one man's opinion. I like Colin. He's fine, but he's got Seattle even ahead of you guys and the Bears. I could see Washington making the playoffs.
if you're gonna do this. So okay, let me just give you a little frame of reference here. Cowherd was not a Rodgers guy. That had always been true, and so Packer fans have this, I wouldn't even say love-hate relationship with Colin Cowherd. And then he did the early Jordan Love is not it. He's not the next guy. And the Packer fans were a little mad about that. And then, our guy, Adam Shine,
hates Love.
Went after Love and he can't play. He's not an NFL player. And so Packer fans kind of forgot that Colin was early on the Jordan Love is not very good corner. But I was like, well, this is just proof that Jordan Love is the next guy in Green Bay because he's inherited, in addition to the ownership of the Chicago Bears from Aaron Rodgers, the mantle of Packers quarterback that Colin Cowherd irrationally doesn't like. And so this is just part of that. If you think Caleb Williams is the guy, and remember, Colin has got some USC connections. He was early on the Caleb Williams stuff. And so if you're going to bet on Caleb Williams, I guess I get it from I think they're going to be good standpoint, but it's just such a huge leap, Matt, 5 wins. And I know they had some close losses, but this is still the Chicago Bears. Until proven otherwise, they are still the Bears, the same way that the Lions were the Lions until they proved otherwise. And they had the one season, everyone puffed out their chest. What did you go 9-8 in 2022?
Yeah.
And everyone said, hey, look, it's different now. It's like, okay, no, now it's different. 2 years back-to-back legitimate NFC playoff teams. Now there's something to have a conversation about. You are not anything in the NFL until you've proved it. And I mean, proved it over time. The Bears are the Bears until further notice. And I don't know why you would spend any time predicting them.
We have time to kill, Pete. We got 4 months of the season.
I mean, that's true. That is
Peter Bukowski, Locked On Packers. I always used to refer to him as the most hated man in Detroit sports, but you got lapped a couple weeks ago by Jalen Brunson.
Oh, yeah.
The hate that Jalen Brunson was getting from Pistons fans. All these people going, oh, the most hated guy. So, well, Pete's lost his crown to Jalen Brunson.
I'm going to have to try harder this offseason. Hopefully.
But
yeah,
hold on.
I had some opportunities to do that. I was also the Knicks fans came from my girl Rachel Hotmayer, and I didn't appreciate that either. That was so rude.
I did see Rachel from a CBS 62 she did like a crime scene report, and it was pretty good. I give Rachel credit. All right,
I liked it. I thought it was good.
It was good.
People did not appreciate the art.
No, it was good. All right, so I know you were there at the draft. I saw your videos. Wow, man, the Matthew Golden pick. I mean, I thought they were going to burn the city down. That was like, wow.
It was an incredibly okay. You're a Lions fan listening to this, and you're going, okay, this guy, whatever. But just think for a minute. There's 200,000 people there. They have to stop letting people in.
Yeah.
And Mark Murphy, in his final year as president, this was his last grand act in Green Bay, was to get the draft to the smallest city in American professional sports. And he gets to go out there and announce the first round pick. And he gets to say for the first time since 2002 and experience the crowd pop.
Yeah.
I will never forget the sound the crowd made when that happened. What an incredibly cool moment to be there and be a part of. And then it's a receiver. And I mean, obviously that's the whole point of the pop of the crowd. Not the receiver, that I thought it was, certainly. You just from a football fan standpoint, it's one of those, how can you not be romantic
it's
about
exciting
football? Like that scene was so cool.
When Terrion Arnold was there, it was the same thing in Detroit 2 years ago. I mean, it's fun for the home crowd, but it was just kind of fun.
And then Terrion Arnold did not meet a lot of fans in Green Bay when he was on stage.
Oh gosh.
At the draft. Now it was one of those things, again, bringing us back to the Bears. They start doing the homage.
I know, to Steve McMichael.
And the crowd is booing. They're going nuts. Boo, boo. And then they go into the McMichael tribute.
Yeah.
And the crowd.
They behaved.
They were subdued. I was worried because I know I was there all day. I saw a lot of alcohol being consumed. I was there at 10 in the morning. The tailgating had started. I'm like, this is a bad idea, guys. This is not the right crowd for this. And they behaved. And then as soon as they get back to and with the 10th overall pick, like they got right back to booing. And I was like, well done. That was great.
Packers draft. I like that edge rusher you got in the 4th round.
Baron Sorrell.
Yeah, he's pretty good. What was your reaction? What did you like? You like what they did?
I liked. It was a incredibly fun draft. Matthew Golden is an exceedingly fun player to watch.
Oh, yeah,
Savion Williams from TCU. Just like if you just turn on his highlights, you'd think he was Terrell Owens. Like the highlights of that guy are unbelievable. Now he's not a consistent player, and he's going to be 24, I think, soon. And then the Anthony Belton, the 2nd round pick. 6'6", 336, and he wants to put you in the ground. He's a Lions type offensive lineman. So there's a lot of really fun players. Then on day 3, they just took some swings on athletes. Baron Sorrell, Colin Oliver, some fun players. It was a fun draft. It was kind of an all sizzle, no steak draft, which is weird for them. And so from that standpoint, I kind of loved just being able to talk about it because it's been a fun draft.
Are you ready to walk back your comment from a year ago when you told me that the Packers receiver room was better than the Lions? Because now the Packers went out and had to draft 2 receivers because your group's not good enough. Come on, walk it back.
Here, I'm not going to walk back what I said when I said it, because when I said it, I thought those young guys in Green Bay who we saw play NFL snaps and play at a pretty high level would take one of them would take a step forward.
Right.
I still think it's the deepest receiver room in the NFL. But this was all contingent on Jameson Williams. And what my point at the time was, we don't know what he is. We have no idea what he is. And he went out and he showed last year what he is, a really impactful football player. Now, is he a knucklehead? Did the Lions consider trading him before the draft because he's a knucklehead and they're not sure if they want to pay him? Like, that's a separate thing. Now, I don't think
trading him.
There's no argument now that the Lions room isn't better than Green Bay's. It is better than Green Bay's. But I think the take at the time was predicated on the idea that we just don't know what Jameson Williams is. And I stand by that not knowing at the time. I lost a bet with another Detroit sports personality. I won't pump their show here for sure. But I'm Christian Watson versus Jameson Williams betting. But I am interested to see how this tracks going forward. Like, how does Amon-Ra St. Brown age? I think he's going to age really well. What are they going to pay Jameson Williams $25, $28, $30 million? I
don't think so.
When they need to. And then if they don't, what does that look like? Brad Holmes has been on a heater here, Matt. Like, he makes all these picks that the draft Twitter and draft media folks go, what the hell are they doing? And then they work out. At a certain point, that's got to come back around, right? Like, you can't be on a heater forever. No one is.
I'll have to get you an Isaac TeSlaa jersey in a couple of years and get you ready. But Pete, great to see you, my man.
Feature?
Say it again.
Does it have a self-driving feature?
Different spelling, but yeah.
And it's TeSlaa, right? Like, there's a different process.
I've heard 17 different pronunciations. But he's exciting. But all right, my friend, great to catch up. It was a nice surprise. I figured we'd throw you on today and get you all
I'm ready for football already. Let's do it.
I know. There he is, Peter Bukowski with us. It is a Wednesday, Locked On Lions.